big news ahead of the United States friendly against Switzerland tonight is that Tyler Adams is unavailable with a foot injury. Here's what Mauricio Pochettino had to say about that. He said, Tyler's out for today because he suffered a small issue in his foot. Hope it's not a big issue. I think we can manage it in a good way and rest it for a few days and then see if he can be ready for the Gold Cup. That is the hope. You know what else is the hope? Is that the U.S. can avoid losing 4 straight matches, and that would make Poch the first manager to do so since 2007. Not great. This U.S. team under so much pressure right now. Managers, coaches always under pressure, but how much does that stat line, Nico, up the ante from Mauricio Pochettino? Like, how hot is his seat right now?
I don't care. I don't know if it's hot.
No?
To be honest, I just want to see the U.S. improve.
Thank you.
Like, if they lose but they played better, all right, we took a step forward. He's not going to get fired. He's going to be the manager at the World Cup. It's Mauricio Pochettino, for God's sake. I don't know if his seat is hot. I really don't think so.
It's cool. It's cool.
Right,
We're chill as a fan.
But I'm worried. I'm more worried. Like I don't care about. I'm not worried about Mauricio Pochettino. I'm worried about this team and how they respond and respond in adversity.
Adversity.
Excuse me. He's gone to the Nigel Reo-Coker.
Nigel's rubbing off on you with these pronunciations a little bit.
It's contagious. Listen, I want this team to improve, to take forward strides, and we're not. The manager has changed, and it's still the same mentality. It's still the same type of performances.
Yeah, look, there were certain improvements, and it's a young team in terms of inexperience. I want to see a killer instinct in the final third. That game against Turkey, that was the biggest thing I saw missing. The individual moments of madness and the mistakes, okay, those are unacceptable for a jersey like the U.S. men's national team. But that game, they were there. It was there for the taking. So the intensity in the final third and the killer instinct, that needs to get better.
And this matchup against Switzerland is not going to be an easy one either. The U.S. wanted to have opponents that were going to give them a good challenge and a good test. Switzerland is going to do just that, Nige.
Switzerland is going to do that for sure, Ali. Really good team. And what I like about the Switzerland team is they've got a great mix of experience and youth. And when you talk about football at the highest level, one player in the Switzerland team, for me, emphasises that. Granit Xhaka in midfield. Mm-hmm. You talk about playing the art of midfield, being able to control and dominate the game, to be a goal scorer and all round. Xhaka, for me, is that midfielder. This is a midfielder.
Talk about football intelligence.
Football intelligence and what it needs to bring in the game. You look at that back line again, about experienced back line. You've got Akanji there. Amenda is the young one that's come through right now. He's the younger centre-back that's there playing for, I believe it's Eintracht Frankfurt, who's come in there. You've got Rodriguez wider. Reader, for me, is a talented winger as well that's come in there as well. Ndoye, we know what he's about. Plays in Serie A, plays for Bologna. And this is quite interesting with Ndoye and Embolo. Embolo, for me, is 6 foot. When you talk about powerhouse of a centre forward, when that ball goes up, you better believe it's going to stick. Very talented footballer with the ball at his feet as well. A real goal threat. The fact that these two can also interchange if need be. And if Ndoye is playing higher, that shows about being able to go direct. And you better believe Granit Xhaka is going to have his head up, playing balls in behind for Ndoye to use his pace and get in behind very easily. If they need to swap positions, to have a target man, to when they're deeper defending and they can go into Embolo and he can hold it up to bring the team up, there's a lot that they can do. And I know Nico's got a little smirk on his face.
No, I wanted to give you a fun fact that one of the fullbacks for Switzerland actually plays for Boca.
Oh,
yeah, really? He's an Argentine-born.
He was on the bench. He came on in this game.
Lucas Blondel.
Yeah,
Blondel.
I was about to say it, but he didn't let me say it.
This was the team that played Mexico. There could be some rotation against the United States.
Yeah, look, this Switzerland side is amazing, and I want to highlight a player that doesn't get enough credit for what he does. Remo Freuler. The heart and soul of Switzerland is him and Granit Xhaka. So our midfield for the U.S. men's national team is going to get tested. But the thing that I'd like to see a bit more, and Switzerland do get caught out with this at times, is they're so aggressive in terms of pressing and keeping a high line at different times, is being direct, getting in behind. So for the U.S. men's national team, this Switzerland side, for all the experience they have, I think ultimately it's going to be a big, big ask for them. But the likes of Patrick Agyemang, this could be a game, if Mauricio Pochettino asks his side to go direct against Turkey. When they went direct, when they pressed a bit, that's when they had opportunities, but it's a big gamble.
But bear in mind, Switzerland, like you said, Ali, could change that team completely.
Yeah, and the U.S. are also expected to heavily rotate their side, Nico. So let's take a look at their projected lineup and what you're expecting for the U.S. against Switzerland. Yeah,
listen, this is a projected 11 that we put together with Matt Turner back in goal. You take a look at this backline of Mackenzie Richards. Richards is one of the few people that keeps his spot. If you look at the team that started last game against Turkey, Richards is one of the few guys that I would say he's maybe one of our only starters at the World Cup, right? Everybody else is probably not in an 11 come June. Tolkien also would love to see him in this back line after his Bundesliga experiences. McGlynn in the midfield a little bit further back. But then you got Brendan Aronson, Tillman, Haji Wright and Brian White. I would love to see Brian White. I think Ajiman really against the Turkish center backs that are big physical guys, he got bullied a little bit. And Brian White is a little bit more mobile off the ball. Ajiman was playing with a lot of his back turned to goal. I kind of also wanted to see him turn around and look and take a shot, right?
But also remember how young Ajiman is, and it's the whole coaching dynamic of it still, because he still has to learn how to use his body.
He's 24 years old.
Areas.
He's not like he's 17.
Well, when you talk about, I know he's not 17. We're not comparing him to European, but he's still raw in the sense of playing MLS and how he came through that.
Right.
What age he came through.
But Brian White is also an MLS player, right? And he hasn't had too much time with the national team.
He's had way more experience in games.
So we're talking about Brian White. I want to highlight a guy that this is a big game for him. This guy right here, Haji Wright. Haji Wright has left me wanting more. Haji Wright coming off the bench against Turkey. Were you impressed with that cameo, Nico?
No, not really. I mean, listen, I wasn't impressed by anybody, really. And to me, this team is light. It's soft, it's light, it's slow. They don't play fast.
Can I say this? Sorry, Nico.
Yeah.
Doesn't this man need to have a big game?
Also,
you could make an argument that every player really needs.
I
just want to add a point to Nico's.
What about Matt Turner? You know, 100%. There's everybody, really.
So everyone's talking about Pochettino right now. For me, I agree with Nico. He's going to be here for the rest of this thing. Put the emphasis on the players. Pochettino is giving an opportunity to these players to say, show us what you can do. It's down for these players to make it their shirt. Go in there to force the way. We know what the other players who are not playing, like Tyler Adams and Pulisic and all that, we know what they can do. This is an opportunity for these players now to say, I deserve to be in this starting lineup and I deserve to go to the World Cup. So forget about Poch. It's the players that have to have the pressure to say, I'm going to force myself and make an impact in this US national team.
And this arguably is the biggest test that the U.S. is going to get before the World Cup, right? Turkey, Switzerland, I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell if opposition in Gold Cup is going to be stronger than what we've seen in the last week.
Well, one of the bright spots, can we talk some positives here from that game against Turkey?
Try to make a silver lining.
Okay, was Jack McGlynn and that absolute banger he scored just 1 minute into the game. He's been connected with Anderlecht as a possible move. I mean, how high, Lahoud, are you on a guy like Jack McGlynn? And can he be a player that makes Mauricio Pochettino's job a little bit more difficult and push for a roster spot next summer?
I've seen Jack McGlynn glow up. I remember when he was at the Philadelphia Union Academy, and the Union Academy keep producing talent after talent. Right now, in my opinion, they're the best academy in MLS in terms of players that have gone from the youth level to the national team. I'm excited for this because he's a natural center midfielder. What we saw from him playing out wide, that's not what comes naturally to him. And him playing deeper, he's going to give a sense of calm. I thought a lot of the best movements, the best chances came from his left foot. He's got the best left foot for me since Eddie Lewis. You remember him? Eddie Lewis, he played in England in the Premier League. He's got that sense of presence in the midfield, football intelligence, as we can say. And I just want to see, in terms of breaking lines, he can give you that passing range that you don't get with Johnny Cardozo. Johnny wants to play in between the lines on the ground. Luca Della Torre wants to keep it on the ground. So he gives a good
long distance shot too.
Dynamism in terms of the attack and the midfield that I think we're going to see.
Yeah, I feel like you need one of these players, kind of like off-the-cuff players at a World Cup that maybe not too many people expect you to use and come in, have that hunger, have that bite, and can change a game like that, right? You look at Argentina, that, like, for example, obviously, we're compared it with a team that has a lot of quality.
Argentina again.
I'm with you. But
Enzo Fernandez wasn't really on Argentina's radar. Alexis McAllister wasn't, and they just came into the fold when they were under pressure, they needed a win, and they showed up. So obviously, just keeping it in an American context. I'm not comparing the players, but I'm comparing the situations. Jack McGlynn can prove to Pochettino that he could be that guy once you have everyone. You have your McKennies, your Adams healthy, and all those players.
There's no doubt that there is talent in this US national team, but these talented players have to take the emphasis on themselves and show some personality and some character.
Please.
And some football intelligence. We're all going to go get those shirts made in honor of Nigel and wear them on the show sometime this week.